Hello, guys. Welcome back. So, this topic is not my choice, by the way, just so you know. And yes, baby. And this is where I remind you, and it's adult only channel. So, what do you do when you're in a adult relationship, whatever kind it is, with more than one deity? How do you balance all that out? I don't want to do this. I think this is a bad fucking idea, but Loki already visited the wrath of Loki on me. I was trying to do this, just couldn't get it to flow, and I look over and the blanket had fallen off my chair and landed in the little, you know how you put out water in the winter so your sinuses don't dry out. So I had a little thing of water and the blanket had landed in there, and it was one of my nice blankets, one of the blankets Odin took me shopping for, and I was ready to kill his spiteful little ass. And luckily for him, another deity jumped in and said, one, you know how he is, and he didn't get his way, and so he's showing you what he thinks. And two, it is a good subject. And I said, well, I don't feel comfortable doing this. And they said, why? And I said, well, I'd honestly be ashamed on your behalf. And they kind of looked at me like, well, I'm not ashamed of you. But then they said, well, you don't have to mention names. And, that's a fair way of doing it. Loki's pouting and sulking. Oh, baby, they could just get a Rolodex and guess. May the odds be ever in their favor. I got okay, fine. But, Loki, and I will go back and forth on things. And when you're doing that with one, and then there are others in the house with you, like, he's like, it's going to be harder and harder as you can't say names. It's going to be fun. There's one related to cooking, and we were trying to cook, and they cooked this one thing specifically, and we were starting together, and they're all nice and they're all happy, and then they didn't like it. They got this look on their face. And then I asked Loki, since Loki also is a god attached to cooking, I said, would you like to help me with this baby? And he's in a snot fest because he didn't get to start this, so and they're going to probably go at it and kill each other with kitchen utensils. And I'm like, God damn it, 5 minutes of rest is all I want. And I just follow my inspiration. And Loki's like, and the other one's like, eh. And you know about Asmodeus. Asmodeus is the only one that's like, I'm sure it'll taste nice, dear. And Loki is just throwing a fit and wants me to talk about this. Well, you're going to have stuff like that. You're going to have two that want attention at the same time, or especially if you have two that overlap, and they all do. They're going to want to go to loggerheads sometimes and kill each other. They're going to want to bang each other's skulls off the floor and fight and bite and tear and howl and she loves me more. No, they don't. They love me more. And remember pronouns. And then they're fighting. And, you're not really seeing this go on, but you get the sense. And every so often, they just decide to go at each other because, especially if you have two that are highly competitive, and the more you have, the worse it gets. It's like having so many cats. Like if you have one cat, fine, one cat. You have two cats, maybe they get along. By the time you have 10, they're just beating the shit out of each other perpetually, just about. He's like, yeah, you stopped at 10. Shut up. And hey, back here. And sometimes it's like that, and sometimes it's a really nice, lovely day, and everything's going well. And you're cleaning with one, and you're cooking with another, and you're spending 5 minutes online with another one, and you're enjoying music with another, and they all get along well. So, some days it's heaven on earth, and some days it's utter chaos. And again, that's when the video I was thinking about it. Well, you got what you wanted. You threw a fit. What did you think was going to happen? And it usually the best possible scenario. You just find what works for you. You spend a little time with this one if they want it, and a little time with that one if they want it, and it usually works out pretty well. Uh, Shut up, Loki. And we're monetized now. And you have to figure out how you work out everything, intimate time included. the way that works best for all of you. And then if they decide, all the ones that you have decide that they are also going to have relationships within the relationship with you with one another, sometimes it happens. To me, that's their business. I say I don't need to know unless you think I should know. Unless you want to make this some kind of throuple thing or something. And I said, I don't need to, police you or monitor you. Just I will tell all of the ones that have come over and said, "What would you think if I and so and so?" I said, "Just don't hurt each other. That's my only rule." And since I work with Asmodeus, I'll say, "I don't even care if it's just lustful. Just respect one another because that's what Asmodeus taught me, and that's a good thing. Like the same. They all have the same rule with me. They don't care who I would be with." Not to overshare, they wouldn't care who I would be with. They just want to know I'm going off, and they don't care what the reason is. It doesn't have to be this deep spiritual, I'm truly in love. This is the one, kind of reaction. It can just be, oh, that one's kind of cute. And usually Loki will come up, go, that's cooties. No. So, and then you have to have a discussion because just because you're in a relationship does not mean they own you body and soul, and you can agree to we can agree to disagree respectfully. But we all agreed that none of them are monogamous or even monogamish, and I'm well aware of that fact. So they come and go as they please, but they will feel free to have free for alls with each other. And there are times that I come and go as I please, and one of the biggest hurdles we have is sometimes you want to spend time with God A, and God A ain't interested, and God B wants to spend time with you, and you ain't interested, and God C's over there in the corner. No one ever pays attention to me. God, that's what you get for being a free spirit. So yeah, Loki ruined a lovely blanket so that I would do this, and I knew it. I tried to be logical and say, well, it happened when I got up, but no, it was fine before. And then I looked over, and there was the blanket sitting in the little thing of water, and I'm like, God damn it, Loki! And he wanted his way. He wanted his way. He wanted me to talk about it. And now that I'm monetized, I can't get really, and I wouldn't anyways. I would be a gentle person. You can't get, too graphic, but basically what you do for your happy fun times is entirely up to you guys. And you see every god in existence every night for all I care. It's just, keep it classy and have respect for one another. There you go. The handy guide to everything. So, it's probably not quite what he wanted, but he forced it, and he knows when he forces something, I'm obstinate as hell, and you're gonna get what you're gonna get. And that's one of the other things too. We were starting to have a fight. One of the other ones wandered over and said, "Well, why are you guys fighting?" And I said, "Because he dropped the goddamn blanket in there, and now look at it. This extra is ruined because it's one of the fancy blankets." And he said, "Well, you know how he is. He's spiteful. He will do that." And he wanted you to come out and be out in the open. And look, he's like, "Nameless, nameless. God damn it, it's none of their fucking business. I'm sure they can guess." And that's the thing. Look, he's probably going to be spiteful because I wouldn't give you a name list, but I would never want to be the reason someone stopped working with a god. It's too late now for a couple of them, but I would never want to be the reason why somebody would, stop working with a god. Or because I'm in a relationship with them as well, and they're like, I can't fucking stand you. I have learned to just blissfully ignore anyone else that a god is in a relationship with if it bothers me. And if they put it in my face, then that's what the block function's for. But, I don't believe in just, Loki wants me to get out the Rolodex and start in the A's and just go downwards. It's not quite that bad, but he likes to think it is. And, he got, oh, you'd start with Asmodeus, right? Baby, shut up. And getting giggles back here. But the thing is, whether you have one or two or 50, I don't have 50, shut up, or 500 or whatever you would have, it wouldn't matter. And it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. And I'm trying to include everything in one video. If they were, when I used to write years ago, I wrote about, mystical marriage or spirit marriage or whatever you want to call it. I met a gentleman that was very much in love and had started interacting with a dragon spirit that someone else had had with them, and they didn't have them with them in a romantic sense. But the person decided they were bored with dragons. They were one of those people that, they hop around a lot every week, no judgment. And they hit it off and they ended up getting married. And I'm like, good for you. So you can have all sorts of things going on, just be respectful. And to me, there's no upper limit because you'll find you'll have relationships where if you see them once in your lifetime, that's it, or once a decade, that's it. Once a year, maybe. You will have a lot of relationships like that. They vaguely feel an attachment to you, but maybe you see them once a year, maybe once in your lifetime, 4 times in your lifetime. Some come by maybe like twice a year, or like, maybe twice a month or something. You'll have actually very a select few that want to come around on a regular basis. And even then, it's like, literally, as I was talking with the one that Loki's like, you should tell them who it is. Um, he said, but we just sometimes want 5 minutes out of your day, and that's all we want. We don't need hours and hours and hours like a mortal would. Sometimes they just want the affection, and they want to help around the house, and they want to keep you from killing Loki because they actually like Loki for some strange reason. I can't fathom. And and I said, I appreciate that, and I said I don't think people appreciate that because we come from this very Judeo-Christian culture that has this warped view of having relationships where you have to spend all your time together, and that's actually not healthy. No matter what relationship you're in with a mortal or with divine one or whatever, you need to have outside interests that don't concern each other, and you need to spend alone time. You really do. You really do before you start killing each other. There's such if the lockdowns didn't teach us anything else, they taught us that a lot of people just did not want to spend all that time together. And you can spend too much time together, so you do need outside interest. And a lot of times when you have multiple spouses, for lack of a better term for them, they actually enjoy it because they can go off on a couple month or couple year long vacation. They know you'll be in good hands. They don't have to worry about you. Some of them have been, traipsing in and out of the house lately, and they enjoy it. And maybe, they come back for 5 minutes at a time and then they watch you blow your stack because Loki's pushing all your buttons because Loki's not the center of attention. And then they're like, I remember why I left. And they're like, bye, I'm going out for cigarettes. You don't see them for a while. I go, what? I don't do anything. So hopefully the dish we're cooking is going to come out right. Loki's like, say it, shut up. And, hopefully that's going to come out well. And I just don't share because I've read more than my share of articles of people writing about being, betrothed or whatever to a deity or kami or whatever. And sometimes, you do have to wonder, and I say this looking at myself too. Are you seeking attention? Are you just doing it to be special? Or are you doing it because you think it gives you magical powers? None of the above, for me, it's just like, look, he's like, you should really help it do this. I think there you can talk about it publicly, but not in a showboating way, not in a, oh, look at all the stuff they gave me away, in a, yeah, more than one of us does this stuff. It's absolutely insane, bonkers insane. It's not nearly as much fun as people think it would be. No, it's not like once you hit, like, say you would hit God 50, you would get the one that does physical chores around the house or does home repairs or, gets the groceries or, makes the bed. That doesn't ever happen. So, I don't know what kind of bullshit in a box some people are selling, but, whether it's one or it's more than one, it's you don't ever hit that thing where they do stuff, and sometimes they can be crossways towards each other, and you can be cooking with one, and another one gets mad, and the food don't come out good, and it's never ending fun is what it is. But you just handle it the best you can. The way we work it out is whoever it feels like is trying to get my attention, I'll see if they want it. And sometimes they don't. It's just Pinterest being Pinterest or YouTube being YouTube or the universe being the universe. But if they do, we spend a couple minutes together and that seems to be all they want. It's not usually extended periods of time. It can be sometimes, sure. But, usually it's not. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. Look, he's like, I wanted you to name names. Oh, darling. So, if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. They already have enough emotional scarring, and I will see you later. Bye bye.